Back in 2024, I spotted a nice Polo TSI Comfortline on Auto Trader and I wanted to buy the car, but the dealership which was selling the car was not transparent enough with me and I decided to walk away and drop the deal with the dealership. For a full story on what happened, please continue watching till the end and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel, comment and share your opinion on what I'm going to be sharing with you today, and share this video to your friends, family members and whosoever whom you think needs this kind of information. And believe me, this is the kind of videos that you must share on your WhatsApp statuses. Please share the video. It is very important that before you buy a car, you familiarize yourself with some of the most important concepts like credit score, interest rate, balloon payment or residual value, all of those concepts so that you can understand how a car finance deal is structured. This will help you avoid being scammed by some of these dealerships. Not all dealerships do dodgy business, but some of them actually do not do their business the right way. But before we go any further, I want to remind you guys to not forget to subscribe and stand a chance to win 500 rands cash before the 25th of December. So the goal is to reach 4,000 subscribers before the 25th of December. The 500 rands will go to one lucky subscriber, so please do not forget to subscribe. So before I start with the real business of this video, let's first look at what a car finance deal looks like. So there will be a principal amount on the road fees, which is license and registration fees, as well as admission fee. And then you'll have your interest rate as approved by the bank, deposit, balloon payment, as well as a loan term. So a loan term can be 60 months, 72 months, or 48 months, whichever that the client chooses. Of the 5 things that I've mentioned, there's 3 things that are optional and you can choose how you want them. The first being the deposit, followed by balloon payment, and the last one is the loan term. You can choose whether you want 72 months or 60 months. And with the balloon payment, you can choose the percentage, and the deposit, you can decide to say, I've got 10,000 to put towards the car, or I've got 100,000. So that is fully dependent on you as the client. One thing that you must always make sure that it is reasonable is the interest rate. Never allow the bank to bombard you with a high interest rate because that is going to mess up your finances. And also, if you've got a good credit score, or maybe you've never been blacklisted, never allow the bank to give you a high interest rate. Now let's get into the reason why I did not buy a Polo TSI. So this was before I decided to buy the Ballade. I shopped around for a couple of cars. The Polo TSI was one of them. I saw it on Auto Trader, contacted the dealership, went to view the car. I applied for finance. The Polo TSI was in a decent condition and it was selling for around 270,000. I applied for finance and I was approved, but then that does not mean anything. It simply means the bank now wants to suck from your pockets. So I'm going to use this as an example. If a car is selling for 275,000, including the on-the-road fees charged by the dealership, for 72 months at an interest rate of 12%, your installment is expected to be around 5,470. And it can actually be slightly higher or lesser than that amount that is estimated. So this was early 2024 and the prime lending rate at the time was still at 11.75, and that is why my estimation of the interest rate is 12% because I don't believe in this thing of getting high interest rates. A day later, I got an email saying the finance application on the Polo is approved. The finance breakdown was in this manner. A 72 months loan term, no deposit with a balloon payment of 77,970 rands. At an interest rate of 16.4%, and the installment was estimated to be 5,940 rands. They went on to say if I want a fixed interest rate, it will be something plus minus 18.4%. At this point, I was very disappointed because all of these things were all coming from a reputable dealership. And I then replied to their email requesting them that they do not include a balloon payment and also to reduce my interest rate. And I also asked them to not put any extras on the deal. They must just finance the car as it is. I don't want any extras. They replied to my email simply telling me that I'm a first time car buyer and I do not have any history of vehicle repayment. And then I'm a high risk to the bank, and that is the reason why the bank is giving me such a high interest rate. And this time around, they came back with an interest rate of 15% linked interest rate. Oh, these people were very serious about chopping me, guys. And then the installment was estimated at 5,750 rands. Now, if you check the two deals, the first one and the second one, you will realize something. One with a balloon payment has a higher installment. And remember, a balloon payment is meant to reduce your installments. But then the one with a balloon payment has a higher installment, and one without a balloon payment has a lesser installment. Well, I'm aware of the difference on the interest rate, but then it is insignificant in this case. So one other thing is that the dealership refused to give me the podium. I told them, the podium is mine. I want it in my emails tomorrow in the morning. They said, no, we're not giving you the podium. So the guy would call me constantly, like every 2 hours. I was like, dude, please stop calling me. I'm blocking you. I'm blocking all your numbers from landlines to personal numbers, even on WhatsApp. I don't want to communicate with you guys anymore. Please forget about the deal. I'm not taking the car anymore. About 4 weeks later, I then got a call from the head office division of that particular dealership. They said to me they want to offer me a better rate, and also they wanted to know what exactly was the reason for me to not take the car. I told them that I do not take insults in the form of deals. One thing I wanted to know from her was what interest rate is she now giving me? She said 14% linked interest rate. I was like, you know what? You are wasting my time. I've got more serious people wanting to sell me cars. So back off and let me entertain serious people, because you guys are not serious at all.
Think was a church cock.
This is the part where I say the dealership is not transparent. The first thing they said, they submitted the application to a couple of banks, and only West Bank was the one that was willing to approve me at an interest rate of 16.4%. I refused. And I can actually tell you that they did not submit to all banks, or maybe to a couple of banks. They only submitted to West Bank because that is the bank that they work with to gain commission. So there's that business between the dealership and West Bank. So they've got that relationship, it's established. There's nothing I can do from my side, but then it doesn't mean they have to now subject me to this bank if I do not want this bank. So I must have a bank of my choice. So if they say they submitted to 5 banks, you can actually go to the dealership and say, no, but I don't want to be financed by this bank. I want to be financed by this one. And one thing that they did not know, or maybe they were not aware of, is that I'm a professional banker with the Blue Bank. And what this means is that when I do a car finance application at a dealership, this bank will be the first one to approve because I've got benefits of prime minus rates with the bank. But this dealership was not being transparent and saying to me they submitted to all banks and West Bank is the only one that is approving me. I was like, you guys are lying so much. And at the time, my credit score was very, very good. But the dealership still made me believe that I'm a high risk and I deserve a high interest rate. Believe me, once the dealership sells you the car, they are not going to entertain you anymore. So the purpose of this video is to make you aware of these things that happen at a dealership level so that you can avoid them. And just be prepared before you buy a car, seek relevant knowledge and seek relevant advice. I still had a chance to request a quotation from the dealership, which I was going to submit to my banker for a finance application, and there I was guaranteed a better rate and a good deal. But I then decided to pause the search and continue a bit later, and that is why I ended up buying the Honda Ballade. If you are interested in knowing why I bought the Honda Ballade, please check the video in the description below, or you can click on the link above. And don't forget to subscribe and stand a chance to win the 500 rands cash before the 25th of December.